check. We'll start in another 5 to 10 minutes. We are still waiting for a few more people to join us. Yep. If you want to use restroom, it's there at the left corner. You can use the restroom. Feel free to use the pantry as well. So we have some snacks provided there. You can use that as well. Thank you.
யூ ஃபீல் கம்மிங் இயர்? எப்படி இருக்குது எல்லாருக்கும்? தமிழ் கம்ஃபர்டபுளா ஆர் வில் கோ வித் இங்கிலீஷ்? தமிழ் ஓகே தானே? ஓகே தானே? சரி சரி, எல்லாருமே ஆன்சர் பண்ணலாம் இருக்கும் நம்ம இப்போதைக்கு. வில் வெயிட் ஃபார் சம் மோர் டைம். அதர் ஆல்சோ ஜாயின் பண்ணிடும், அது வரையும் வெயிட் பண்ணலாம். ஓகேவா? கேட்குதுல்ல எல்லாருக்குமே க்ளீனாக? ஓகே. ஸோ செஷன் போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு 2-3 கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்குறேன். ஓகேங்களா? நைட் பர்சன் ஆர் டே பர்சன் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறது? ஓகே. ஃப்ரண்ட் அண்ட் பேக் அண்ட்? நீங்கள் ஃப்ரண்ட் அண்ட் பர்சனா பேக் அண்ட் பர்சனா? அப்புறம் யாருக்கு பக் ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ண பிடிக்கும்? பக் யாருக்கு ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ண பிடிக்கும்? சரி, நெக்ஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின் வந்து என்னென்னா, லைக் யூ டூ அ கோடிங், நீங்கள் கோட் பண்ணிடுறீங்க, பட் ஆஃப்டர் 5 years அது திருப்பி உங்ககிட்டே வருது. எப்படி ஃபீல் பண்ணுவீங்க? ப்ரௌடாக ஃபீல் பண்ணுவீங்களா? ஐயோ வந்துருச்சு எஸ்கேப் ஆகலான்னு ஃபீல் பண்ணுவீங்களா? எஸ்கேப் தான். இந்த சைட்ல தான் பதில் வருது, இந்த சைட்ல யாருமே வர மாட்டேங்குது. கொஞ்சம் முன்னாடி வரலாமா நீங்கள், இஃப் யூ டோன்ட் மைண்ட்?
அந்த கோடை நான் தான் போட்டேனா அப்படின்னு நான் ஃபீல் பண்ணுவேன். யார் போட்ட அந்த கோடை இவ்வளோ கேவலமாக போட்டிருக்கான்?
ஆக்சுவலாக இப்போ கேட்குற கேள்விக்கும் செஷனுக்கும் சம்மந்தமே கிடையாது. சும்மா ஏதாவது கேட்கணும் தான் நம்ம கேட்டுட்ருக்கோம் இப்போ. ஓகேவா? சரி, ஃபில் இன் த பிளாங்க்ஸ் மாதிரி வச்சுப்போம். ஐயோ மறந்துடுச்சு. ஒரு QA வந்து உங்ககிட்ட திஸ் இஸ் அ பக்ன்றாரு, அண்ட் வாட் யூ வில் ரிப்ளை? தட்ஸ் அ குட் கொஸ்டின்.
ஸோ என்னோட மிஷினில் ஒர்க் ஆகுறது தான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு ரிப்ளையாக இருக்கும். ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்க மேபி சொல்லுவாங்க உங்களோட மிஷின் கஸ்டமர்கிட்ட கொடுக்க முடியாதுன்றது. ஸோ அதே மாதிரி வந்து ஒர்க் ஆகலன்றது தெரியாது, பட் ஆனால் யூ ஷுட் ப்ரொவைட் த ரீப்ரொடியூசபிள் ஸ்டெப்ஸ் அப்படின்றது.
மை மேஜர் ஆன்சர் இஸ் லைக் இட் இஸ் நாட் அ பக், இட்ஸ் அ ஃபீச்சர்.
எத்தனை பேர் அக்ரி பண்ணுறீங்க இதை? ஏன்னா நான் நிறைய ஃபேஸ் பண்ணுறேன். பிகாஸ் ஐ எம் அ QA, நான் எப்போ ஒரு பக் ரைஸ் பண்ணாலுமே இவங்க சைட்லேருந்து வர்றது, என் மிஷினில் ஒர்க் ஆகுது, என்ன இதில் ஒர்க் ஆகுது, ஒய் இஸ் நாட் யூ அப்படின்னு எதனா வந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும்.
மிஷினை மாற்ற கூட சொல்லுவாங்க. இங்கே இருக்காங்கல்ல, அவர் வந்து நான் QA, அவர் டெவலப்பர். இப்போ பக் இருக்குன்னு போய் சொன்னோன்னா என்னோட மிஷினில் ஒர்க் ஆகுது, உங்கள் மிஷினில் தான் இல்லை, நீங்கள் மாற்றுங்க, மிஷினே மாற்றுங்கன்னு சொல்லுவார்.
தட்ஸ் அ கிரேட் பாயிண்ட். கேட்ச் கிளியர் பண்ணி பாருங்க ப்ரோ, கேட்சாக இருக்கும். எல்லாரும் சாப்பிட்டீங்களா? ஓகே. ஸோ லைக் யூ ஹேவ் ரெஃப்ரெஷ்மெண்ட்ஸ் ஆன் த பேண்ட்ரி டூ, யூ கேன் யூஸ் த பேண்ட்ரி, அண்ட் த வாஷ்ரூம் இஸ் ஆன் த லெஃப்ட் ரைட் ஆல்ரெடி. ஸோ இன்கேஸ் எதாவது டவுட்ஸ் எனிதிங் ஃபீல் ஃப்ரீ, பிகாஸ் நம்ம கம்மியான க்ரௌட் தான் இருக்கும். ஸோ ஓப்பன் இன்ட்ராக்டிவ் செஷன்ஸாக இருந்தால் தான் கொஞ்சம் நல்லாயிருக்கும். த ஒன் வே ஸ்பீக்கிங் டசன்ட் ஹெல்ப்ஸ் யூ. ஸோ மேக் யூஸ் ஆஃப் த செஷன், ஆஸ்க் கொஸ்டின்ஸ், நோ மோர், அண்ட் எதுக்குமே தயங்காதீங்க, கேளுங்க கேளுங்க கேட்டுக்கிட்டே இருங்க. We'll wait for some more time. Okay, that's a better one. Maybe you guys can introduce yourself so the other colleagues can also know who you are, what you're doing. Okay?
Who knows, maybe next few yearsல நீங்களே வந்து ஒருத்தர் உங்களுக்கு மேனேஜராக இருக்கலாம், இல்லை லஞ்ச் பட்டியாக இருக்கலாம், இல்லை மென்டராக இருக்கலாம். ஸோ கெட் டு நோ ஈச் அதர்.
So hi team, so myself Bharat Kumar. I am currently working in TCS as an front-end developer. I am coming from Coimbatore and currently I am working on base location is my Chennai. So that's it.
Hello, so I'm Vishnuvardhan from Coimbatore, working as a full stack developer in Span Technology Services. John, அவர் என்னோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட், இவங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் என்னோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சீனியர், ஆல்சோ மென்டார் என்னோட ப்ரீவியஸ் கம்பெனியில்.
I'm Tamil. I'm a full stack developer with Flutter and main stack also. So normally I start with the code TypeScript. Yeah, that's what I use.
Hi guys, I'm Sukumar. I'm basically a full stack developer. I'm looking for a job in Chennai. Not 2 months. Chennai. Stay in Chennai.
ஹாய் கைஸ், என் பேர் வந்து சுப்பிரமணிய ஜோதி. நான் ஒரு ஃபுல் ஸ்டாக் டெவலப்பர். டைப்ஸ்கிரிப்ட் பற்றி கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கேன், இப்போ தான் புதுசு டைப்ஸ்கிரிப்டுக்கு, பட் நாலேஜ் கெயின் பண்ணுறதுக்காக வந்திருக்கேன். தேங்க்யூ.
மைசெல்ஃப் சுசேந்திரா பாண்டியன், கமிங் ஃப்ரம் தேனி. பிசிஎஸில் வந்து ட்ரைனிங் அகாடமியில் ஜாயின் பண்ணியிருக்கேன் மந்த் ஸ்டாக்காண்டி. கெரியர் சேஞ்ச்காண்டி இருக்கேன். அங்கே வந்து ராகவகுமார் சார் வந்து மீட்டப்லாம் நிறைய அட்டன் பண்ண சொன்னார், ட்ரெயினர் வந்து.
fresher then?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, hi, this is Satya Pramod. I am from Freshworks Software Academy. So it's a part of a CSR initiative from Freshworks. I work there as a tech coach. I am teaching students coding and other stuffs. My tech stacks are TypeScript and Python. And I'm also a fan of React. ஸோ சென்னை ரியாக்ட் மூலியமாக தான் டைப் கோடர்ஸ் எனக்கு தெரிய வந்தது. ஸோ ஐ திங்க் திஸ் இஸ் த செகண்ட் மீட்டப். ஃபஸ்ட்டு மீட்டப் ஸ்கிப் பண்ணிட்டேன் ஒரு வேலை இருந்ததுனால. ஸோ ஐ தாட் ஆஃப் இந்த மீட்டப் மிஸ் பண்ணவே கூடாது, சரி வந்து பார்ப்போம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஐ ஜஸ்ட் கேம். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் மை ஷார்ட் இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன். தேங்க்யூ.
Yeah, hi, I'm Naveen Ravichandran, a full stack engineer at Linarc.
Hi, myself Revant. I'm working as a front-end developer at GCS Star Software Solution. I'm from Rajapalayam. Then
ஹாய், என் பேர் முகமது ஹாரூன். நான் இப்போ ஜூனியர் ஃபுல் ஸ்டாக் இன்ஜினியராக ஒர்க் பண்ணுறேன் கோலன் இன்ஃபோடெக் 1000 லைட்ஸில்.
Hi, myself Akbar Shah. So I'm a full stack engineer and I'm from Concert ADC and he is my CTO, Kanan. So I'm just aware of this meetup through him. So in our company he is like a techie. So he used to push our employees to attend meetups. So that's why I'm here, and I'm just started as a front-end developer and I'm pursuing as a full stack engineer, and that's my intro. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Devadashni and I'm student pursuing my second year MCA. So one of my friends suggested this TypeScript meetup. So this is new to me.
So hi, my name is Vishal and I'm a MCA student pursuing my MCA in Meenakshi College of Engineering. So it also for me a first time to attend this event. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Sudarshan. I'm a full stack developer. I'm a third year student right now, and I developed a SaaS product using TypeScript, and I developed AI products.
Hello, hi, I'm Vijay. Big fan of React, kind of already came here for Chennai React Chennai meetup. This is my second meetup here. Looking forward. I work in Cognizant.
Hey all, I'm Ashwant. I work as a front-end engineer at Pro Football Focus, and my tech stack is primarily React and React Native. Bore அடிச்சதுன்னு வந்தேன். Thank you.
Hi all, I'm Selva Prasad. I'm a lead software engineer at Bounteous, and I've been following Talentship and the list of meetups whatever they do. So I have been here last time as well. So just okay. So I'm just here to learn and as well as get to know a lot of things from the panels and the team. Thanks.
Hey, this is Kamal Raj Prakasam. I've been a full stack developer. I'm working in HCL Tech, and my client is like PayPal. Initially, I started as a backend developer as a Java, and then I started learning the React, and now I've been working as a full stack. React.js is my primary now. Yeah, this is my first meetup. Thank you.
Hi, this is Balachandran. I'm a technical lead at HCL Tech. Client is PayPal, full stack web developer, and this is my second meetup.
ஓகே, ஸோ இப்போ எல்லாருக்குமே அந்த ஒரு ஃபியர்னஸ், யூ கான் வித் ஃபியர்னஸ், யூ ஸ்போக் சம்திங் இன் த க்ரௌட், அண்ட் ஐ வாண்ட் யூ கைஸ் டு ஆஸ்க் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் as much as you can. Okay, to make yourself clear when you're going out, you should be more clear on what the topics are going on. So ask questions as much as possible. Okay, and one thing I'm a bit eager about, I'm sorry, but he's a CEO, sir, CTO, cool. So what made you to come here, and what made you guys to push your team to come here, sir?
Not specifically this event. Chennai being Chennai, the biggest exposure that you get is events like this. I go to almost all the events when I have time, and I'm a tech speaker as well. I spoke in TechX and a lot of other events as well. But this is the place where you make a lot of good connections. You meet a lot of people. Officially, in your office environment, you have a gang that you have. But outside office, you definitely need to have people to connect to who are like-minded, who can share your thoughts and ideas. You can bounce any thoughts openly because sometimes you'll not be able to bounce it inside the office. So it's always good to meet people outside. That's it.
Great, great. So I hand off the mic to Monica, so she'll be taking care forward. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. And let's begin the event. Before starting, I'd like to introduce myself. Myself, Monica Nagarajan. I'm a QA engineer, and I have around 7+ years of experience, and 2 years with Talentship. And then, okay, we are here for a TypeCoders event at Talentship. And do anybody know what TypedCoders is all about? Any idea? எல்லாருக்கும் தமிழ் தெரியும்ல? Everyone is familiar with Tamil, right? Okay. So it's not that we have to communicate in English. Tamil is also very much fine. So எல்லாருமே இங்கே தமிழ் தான் வெரி கம்ஃபர்டபுளாக பேசலாம், ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. எல்லாருக்கும் டைப்ட் கோடர்ஸ் பற்றி ஏதாச்சும் ஐடியாஸ் இருக்கா?
A community to spread awareness about the TypeScript and what are the benefits of using it, and probably what are the best things that you can use, how you can utilize it effectively so that it will be easier. And there is a myth behind TypeScript. Oh, is it TypeScript? It's going to be hard. So probably a community that breaks everything is what I'm thinking about.
Thank you. So yeah, like you said,
So I guess it would be like TypeScript பற்றி தான் பேச போகிறோம். ஸோ மை விஷன் would be இதுலேருந்து அவுட்கம்ஸ் என்ன வருன்றது தான் என்னுடைய திங்கிங்கில் இருக்குது தாட் ப்ராசஸில். ஸோ சம்திங் விச் இஸ் லைக் த பெஸ்ட் ப்ராக்டிசஸ் விச் யூ நீட் டு ஃபாலோ கரண்ட் ட்ரெண்டில் இருக்கிறது. செகண்ட் திங், ஆஸ் அ ஜூனியர் டெவலப்பர்ஸ் கம்பெனியில் ஃப்ரெஷ்ஷாக வராங்க அப்படின்னா வாட் ஆர் ஆல் தே நீட் டு நோ ஆஸ் அ ப்ரீ ரெக்விசைட் பிஃபோர் தே ஜம்ப் இன் டு த ஜாப் ஆர் த டாஸ்க். தட்ஸ் இட்.
Thank you. So basically, TypeCoders it's a community created by our Talentship. So this is our second event. Last year we had our first TypeCoder event. It was a hit. So we had like a huge crowd. But this is the second time. I heard that there are a few other events happening at the same time. Like in the Inike 4 to 5 events channel நடந்துட்டுருக்குன்னு கேள்விப்பட்டேன். And I'm very glad you chose TypeCoders Talentship here. Thank you so much for that, for joining us here today. And TypedCoders. So the community Talentship create பண்ணதுன்னு சொன்னது. So in the community எதுக்கு நம்ம create பண்ணணும்னா, so like great minds, like-minded people, like sir, CTOs வந்திருக்காங்க, and freshers, we have college students, we have experts, technical experts. So நம்ம எல்லாரும் இங்கே gather பண்ணி, so நம்மளோட knowledge share பண்ணுறது, நம்மளோட ideas share பண்ணி, ஒரு innovate பண்ணி, so அந்த purpose-காக தான், or like for a networking purpose. இப்போ college freshersலாம் இருக்கீங்க, உங்களுக்கு when I was in college, I had no idea that there are some events happening. And நான் அப்போ பக்கத்தில் எனக்கு மஷ்ரூம் கடை எங்கே கிடைக்கும், எங்கே சாப்பிடலாம், ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி தான் நான் பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தேன். ஸோ I had no knowledge back then, like 10 years back when I was in college. But now I'm very happy to see like lot of people, freshers-லாம் நம்ம இந்த மாதிரி ஈவெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் அட்டென்ட் பண்ணிட்டு நாலேஜ் கெயின் பண்ணலாம், நெக்ஸ்ட் கேரியரில் எப்படி க்ரோத் என்ன பண்ணலாம், ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய நாலேஜ் உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் இப்போது இருக்குது. ஸோ I'm very glad to see all of that. So yeah, that is the main purpose. Basic simple goal of TypeCoders is to connect, to have great minds together. So அதுக்காக தான் main purpose TypeCoders create பண்ணியிருக்கோம். And thank you so much for joining us today. And next one, I would like to call Manigandan. So Manigandan and John, they both are the organizers of this TypeCoders event. So I'll hand over the mic to Manigandan. He is a senior software developer of Talentship. He has around 7+ years of experience. Talentshipல ஒரு critical resource ன்னு சொல்லலாம். And is passionate about TypeScript. So TypeScript பற்றி உங்களுக்கு எந்த டவுட்ஸ், எந்த ஏதாச்சும் நாலேஜ் ஷேர் பண்ணணும், கேட்டுக்கணும், தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா you can reach out to him. And apart from work, he is also a cricket player. So he's very much into cricket. So cricket பற்றின ஏதாச்சும் டாக்ஸ் பேசணுன்னாலும் you can talk to him. So I'll hand over the mic to him.
Thank you, Monica. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Manigandan, and I am working as a senior software engineer at Talentship. I love TypeScript, basically. So I don't know, like, if you take TypeScript, there are two sets of people. One who say like they genuinely love TypeScript, they love working with types, and no matter what, they create front end, back end, mobile, everything they use TypeScript. If you ask the other set of people, like they say like, I don't know, like I don't like TypeScript, or it is too much complex, they tend to stay away with TypeScript, right? I know like they have their own reasons and it is valid as well. So to build this first and second type of category peoples, like we are conducting such events, so where we can place all the TypeScript developers in a single room and we can ask them to learn, share, collaborate, and network with like-minded peoples. This way, like we can bridge the gap between those who like TypeScript or who wants to try TypeScript, but they are somewhere having fear, like I don't know like how to start, or I'm facing this thing like I don't know how to overcome. So this is the place where we want everyone to be on their like comfort zone. Like we want you to be like just come out and network with people and try to understand like whatever difficulties you have, you can overcome that. That is the main reason why Talentship wanted to have this event. Like if you know like for JavaScript or React, we can see like in every interval we have see there is a meetup or events happening for JavaScript or React or any other technologies. But for TypeScript, we didn't had, at least in Chennai, we didn't had much TypeScript events. That's why Talentship wanted to fill that void. So we came up with this TypedCoders initiative. It was started this year July. We had our first session and it went well. Like I also one of the speakers in that session. Also Selva is here. He was also one of the speakers. And following the success of that event, we are having our second edition here. So I welcome you all to our second edition, and we have versatile set of topics today to be presented. I hope everyone will learn something new and collaborate with other peoples to network with them. Thank you and have an informative session.
Thank you, Mani. Okay, let's begin our session. Our first section will be taken by Mr. Ganesh, and he has around 12 plus years of experience. Is currently working in Pearson. He's a front-end developer, and he is also passionate about TypeScript, JS, React, and all of that. So I'll hand over to.
Thank you. Am I audible? Hello. Okay. Hi. Good afternoon to everyone. So, என் பேர் ராஜேஷ். So, first of all, thank you for all of you to being here. So, Saturday afternoon, like, இங்கே எல்லாமே வந்து to learn something, right? So, I see like most of you are like freshers, college students. So, actually, this is not my actual talk. So, but I will just give you an overview about like what is TypeScript, why TypeScript. Okay. Okay. So, like today, like we all have smartphones, right? So how many of you have like tamper glass for your mobile or phone cover for your mobile? Almost everyone, right? So why the tamper glass or phone cover? Like already because the manufacturers are providing Gorilla Glass, they are claiming it, right? So why we are adding tamper glass and phone cover to our mobile? Sorry? Extra protection, safety, right? The same way the TypeScript is safety for your JavaScript code. Okay, how many of you know JavaScript? Okay, so almost. Okay, good. So as we all know, if you take any language, they are categorized as strongly typed language and weakly typed language. So for example, when I say strongly typed language, Java, .NET, for example, when you're defining any variable, right, for example, age, so we used to define what type of variable, like int age, first name, string, boolean, true or false. We used to define a type in the strongly typed language. But if you take the weakly typed languages like JavaScript, so we won't define with the types. Straight away we'll declare with where or const, like for example where first name equals John. And for the same first name, again I can assign one number and I can able to assign one boolean value to it. So actually it is like advantage as well as disadvantage as well. When I say it is advantage, it is like flexibility we have. So when I say disadvantage, so we are assigning wrong type of value to another variable which holds the value earlier. Okay. So TypeScript is nothing but providing a type safety for your JavaScript. As I said, JavaScript is a weakly type language. To provide type safety for JavaScript, we have something called TypeScript. Sorry, type safety for JavaScript, we have TypeScript. So TypeScript is nothing but a wrapper for JavaScript. Okay, so I hope you are clear like what is TypeScript and why TypeScript, right? Okay, fine. So is it fine now? Okay. So as I said, TypeScript is a JavaScript with syntax for type. TypeScript is a strongly typed language that builds on JavaScript. It is developed and maintained by Microsoft. Okay. Okay, fine. So the first version of TypeScript was released in the year 2012, and the latest version of TypeScript as of today is like 5.9. Okay. So just an introduction about TypeScript. So actually I will move to my actual talk. So today my talk is about TypeScript in action. So we are going to use, so where we can use TypeScript, like whether TypeScript will be used in client side or server side, like so in which place like you are all used, whether you are used in client side, whether used in server side, I mean Node.js, both. Yeah. As I said, like TypeScript can be used anywhere, like client side, backend. Also in the AI pipeline also we can able to use the TypeScript, like TypeScript is in full circle now. Okay. So if you see about myself, like I was working with PSN, so I have 12 plus years of experience. So predominantly like I was started as a front-end developer, starting with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, and my first JavaScript framework was like EXT.js, Backbone.js, Angular, React, Next.js. Yeah, I worked on Electron. So seeing back that libraries, I feel like how old I am into this technology. Okay, fine. So and I also pursuing my MTech in AI ML in Bitsvilani. So I completed the first year. Currently I'm into the second year. So it is like a work integrated program. So while working you can able to pursue. Even if you guys are interested, you can able to pursue as well. Okay. So as per the GitHub latest survey, right? So what is the most widely used programming language on GitHub as per 2025? So you have chocolates for the right answer. JavaScript, Python. Anybody else? No Googling, no GPT, .NET, good. TypeScript, right? TypeScript. So I'm not glorifying since it is a TypeScript even. Actually, TypeScript is the most used language in GitHub. TypeScript is now the most used language on GitHub in 2025. So if you see the, so I will just prove it. So this is the official website of that GitHub. So inside the GitHub you can see that new developer joins GitHub every second as its CA leads TypeScript to number 1. So if I go to this, you see TypeScript stands the list at first, followed by Python, followed by JavaScript. So he said the right answer. Your name? Yeah, congratulations. Okay. So why TypeScript? So any idea like why TypeScript tops the list suddenly? Not suddenly, it was like second or third for long time, but it has reached to the top 1 position. What are the reasons? What could be the reasons? It is not a single page application exactly. Yeah, valid point. Like whatever the features supported by Java as like class, interface, generics.
All those things we have in TypeScript also.
Yeah,
so that
right.
could be one of the main thing I could see.
Yeah, very very valid point. Like because like earlier, like whoever is working on Java or .NET, right? So they will have difficulty in writing the JavaScript code because they are used to the strongly typed language for the long time. So when they are coming to JavaScript, the syntax is totally different. So for them, like the TypeScript will be more or less same like whatever they are used to. Either it is Java or .NET. So when they are coming to TypeScript, it will be like more familiar with whatever language they are used. So that is one valid point. Apart from that, you can just guess it. No answer is wrong answer. Yeah, as you said, strongly typed language.
Strongly
So
typed.
it is supports
an extra layer of verification
protection,
of the
correct.
protection of the variables which you are defining.
100%. Any other try? Absolutely, that is one of the main things. So currently, like most of us, even developers, are using the AI tools and then no code solutions. So with vibe coding. So any idea like what is vibe coding? Yes.
Vibe coding is doing coding not by manually using agents like cursor. Now recently launched anti-gravity. They are all coding agents. We just prompting in it, we get a output what
Yeah,
we
right.
are expecting to.
Right. So
This
either
is
use
vibe coding.
GPT or Copilot, Cursor. We are just going, even though we know the code, but nowadays we are not writing the code. We are just giving the prompt and it is providing. We are just going to keep or discard. So almost we are going to keep only most of the things. Okay. So that is one reason. So the major reason is like the AI. So as the name suggests, right, AI leads to TypeScript. Okay, as I said, like how it reached this part, like when you see like in the TypeScript was initially like when 2024 August it was in the third place and then it overtook Python and it reached the first place. So these are the other like programming language followed by JavaScript, Java, C Sharp, PHP, Shell, Go. So like in this list we don't see like any React, Angular, Next.js. Why? That comes under frameworks and libraries. So these are all the programming languages. Okay, so whereas Next.js, React, Angular will comes under the framework and libraries. Okay, as I said, TypeScript tops the list. The first reason is like why TypeScript one is type contract scale AI assisted teams. So by default nowadays framework ships with TypeScript by default. So if you're using Next.js, right, when you're downloading Next.js, if you're using npm install Next.js, right, so by default Next.js has TypeScript. And then Astro, Swellkit, Quick, Solid Start, Angular, Remix all generate TypeScript code by default. So even though you are not explicitly using TypeScript, the frameworks which you are using internally uses TypeScript. So obviously when you are installing your framework, obviously you are installing the TypeScript as well. Okay. So and then the modern web stack, TypeScript first. As I said, Next.js, Bun. Any idea like what is Bun does? What is Bun? Runtime environment. So it does many things like as he said, like we can use Bun as an package manager, as like npm manager, right? We can make use it as a package manager, and we can use Bun as a runtime engine, and we can make use as Bun as a code generator, and we can use it as a bundler as well. Like we use Webpack, right? So we can make use of Bun as an bundler as well. So recently, like Bun has been acquired by popular AI company. Any idea? Anthropic. The parent company is Anthropic. They acquired Bun, so it has more potential as well. So and more importantly, the type system self identify the LLM generated compiler errors. So now what we are doing, as you said, like we are doing vibe coding now, right? So LLM is generating the response. So generally, like when you are prompting, like what is the LLM models which you use generally? Claude, Sonnet, okay, Claude, GPT, Gemini. Apart from that, Grok. Copilot is an interface. Inside the Copilot, you need to select the model. Llama, DeepSeek, Mistral, Quen. So likewise, we have many models. So all those models are getting trained very well. Okay. So what I'm saying is, we are doing vibe coding, right? So whatever the response provided by that model, it's not type safety basically. So the response, whatever the response it is providing, when we are trying to inject it, so it is providing the unexpected results. So there the TypeScript comes into the picture, like because we are not sure like what LLM is generating, so what schema it is generating, right? So we need to define the schema. So for that, TypeScript plays a very important role because it is an unknown resource. Like for example, so when we are getting in expecting an output from our API service which comes from the database, right? We know like this is a structure defined because there will be a contract between the UI and the backend already. So now what is happening? UI is hitting the backend server is hitting the model. So even the backend server doesn't know the full contract of, because it may vary upon the user prompt, right? Because nothing is predefined now. Everything is like dynamic. So that is the major reason for TypeScript to get increased, and all the projects started using the TypeScript. So I hope you all got that overview about like why we are using TypeScript, right? Good. So as I said, TypeScript dominates the front end. It is used in React, Solid, Svelte, backend, Node, Bun, Deno, infrastructure as code like CDK, H runtime, serverless function, AI microservices, SDK generation, and agents frameworks. Okay, so as we all know, the advantage of TypeScript is type safety, better readability, IDE support, scalability, future proofing, and seamless integration. So when there is an advantage, obviously there is going to be some disadvantage or drawbacks, right? So what you see drawbacks of TypeScript? Build time, that is one valid point. Yeah, because obviously TypeScript has to be compiled to JavaScript and it has to be rendered by the browser. So that is one valid point. Apart from that,
time taken.
Sorry?
Time taken when you build the
compile பண்றதுக்கு time
compile time, developing time.
Okay, developing JavaScript compare பண்ணும்போது TypeScript learning curve கொஞ்சம் அதிகம், like the amount of lines which you are writing when compared to JavaScript is higher. Yeah, valid. You can try, not a problem. தப்பா இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்லை, என்னவா இருக்கலாம். Any guess? Okay, fine. So what are the key drawbacks of TypeScript? I would say whatever you said is right. Compile time, the learning curve is high. So but the major reason I saw is like false sense of security. So TypeScript provides the compile time checking, but all type of information is erased at runtime. So TypeScript was used in the compile time. In the runtime, we are not sure like what type of value we are getting from the external resources. Okay. So this can lead to a false sense of security as runtime errors related to data from external sources, like it can be a network call, API, receive a form submission, can still occur if not handled with explicit runtime checks. Okay, so other drawbacks of TypeScript, as I said, steeper learning curve, configuration overhead, and slower compilation time. But now we can able to overcome this configuration overhead and slow compilation time by using the, as I said, we can use the build tools like Bun, ESBuild, SVC, TS node. So what this TS node and all does is, so it doesn't need to compile the TypeScript to JavaScript. It runs on the TypeScript compiler itself. So with this tool, we can able to minimize that build time, okay, and the runtime. So and then the subjective dislike, actually it is not a drawback, as some developers simply prefer JavaScript dynamic and flexibility nets, because like for example someone might write vanilla CSS, somebody like Tailwind CSS. It depends upon the preference of the developers. So it is not the actual drawback. Okay. Okay. So as I said, the actual drawback is it is not safe at runtime. It is safe at compile time, but it is not safe at the runtime. Okay. So can anyone say like, is there any issue in this code? If yes, what is the issue in this code? So assume that this is an object which I'm receiving from API. So name, alias, age, and weight. I'm just specifying that TypeScript interface. So I'm expecting name to be string, age to be number, and weight to be number. And I'm just printing the weight. And if it is any fractional value, I'm just converting it to an whole number. So what is the issue over here? Sorry? Okay, age and weight is in string, okay. Okay, I have defined it as a number, okay. Okay, fine. Okay, good. But here what will happen is, age, also even though I have defined it as number, I have just given it as a string. Yes, it is an issue. But internally what will happen is, it will do type correlation. So it will convert that 25 string to a number 25. Okay, but if you see for weight, it is an actual string, 72.5 kg. So here another issue is, here when I say math.round, right? So math.round is a method of number object. Okay, so but I am passing a string value to it. So it will say that user.weight is not a number. You will get an error that not a number. So even though we have defined like what type of value it is, but at the runtime we couldn't able to capture this. So this is the place we need to capture the runtime error in TypeScript. Okay. So what is the issue in this code? So what is the answer in console.log? Undefined. Why undefined? Correct. Okay, right. So here I have only one object inside the array. So here I'm trying to find, just I'm iterate, this is an array, I'm iterating it, I'm trying to find user.id equals to, but I don't have that user itself, right? But here when I'm trying to print this, here I'm defining that name as a string data type, but I'm trying to access that name. Here TypeScript doesn't capture this issue because this issue arises at runtime. Only at the runtime it is iterating and finding that value which is id equals to. So this kind of issues we couldn't able to address with TypeScript. So the solution to it is, how to overcome this false sense of security is, we can make use of libraries. So one of the popular library is sort. Okay, we can call it a sort or sort according to our need. So TypeScript first validation library. So it is a library. I hope you all know what is jQuery, right? So what is jQuery? Library of JavaScript. So even though the jQuery was written in JavaScript only, so it provides us the utility functions. Instead of we hard coding some utility functions, they have provided some utility functions to make the development easier, right? The same thing applicable here. So SORT is a library which makes the TypeScript validation at the runtime make much easier. So if you are doing this right, we need to internally write try catch block. So if something breaks, we need to have multiple try catch block. And each and every time we need to check whatever the response we are getting, right? So whether it is equals to string, whether it is equals to number, or inside this object is present. And we used to do all this condition check manually in our code to avoid any breakage in the structure of the response, right? To avoid those, sort will help us to make the development much easier. Okay, so apart from sort, we have other TypeScript libraries as well, like Savo, Isa2I, Soy, but all these are not popular as like sort. So I will tell you the graph of sort as well. So we will go to the actual talk, like what is sort, why sort, what are the features of sort, how to install and set up the sort, code small demo of like how we need to do, and validations method available in sort, and validations in client, API and AI, overview of TRPC. In area like what is TRPC? Anybody heard of like TRPC? What is RPC first of all? remote procedure call. Like it is specific to TypeScript remote procedure call. I will explain you like why RTPC is like very helpful in validations between the client and server. Okay. So as I said, SOD is a TypeScript first schema declaration validation library developed by a person called Colin. So it allows you to define schemas for your data structure. More importantly, it validates at runtime. TypeScript by default, it solves the compile time errors, but it couldn't able to solve the runtime errors. To solve that, we have this SOD library. Automatically infers TypeScript types from those schemas, get detailed error message when validations fails. So as I said, TypeScript only provides a compile time checks when working with data from external sources, like assume that you are getting a response from your API structure. So what are the possible cases like where the runtime error occurs, right? So when we are expecting the API from response from API, user input through forms, file uploads, database query, WebSocket communication, URL query parameters. So these are all the probable cases like where we run into runtime errors. Okay, SOD offers runtime validation. SOD addresses this limitation by enabling you to create schemas that validate data during runtime and simultaneously generate static TypeScript types automatically. So what is the advantage of using SOD is zero external dependencies. So if you need to use SOD, whether you need to use any other libraries, no. So only SOD is highly enough. And if you see the file size, it is hardly 2 KB. So even the file size is not very high. So works with Node.js and all modern browsers. It provides immutable API, concise interface, works with TypeScript and plain.js, built-in JSON schemas, extensive ecosystem, and also it provides MCP also. For example, even if your LLM wants to connect to an MCP, SOD provides the support of MCPs as well. So if you see the graph of SOD recent downloads, right? So it was not new actually. It was quite available for past 4 to 5 years. But recently, as I said, due to the increase in generative AI, right? So it got increased. If you see until 2024, even starting of 25, it was like normal. So after that, if you see the graph, it is like quite huge. As I said, the other popular types, if you see here, IOTS, JOI. So if I check the compatibility, like how other TypeScript libraries works, so it is not nothing as like compared to SOD. So it is very clear that the modern tech stack is like TypeScript along with this SOD library. Okay. Okay. So as I said, the installation is very easy. npm install. So nothing. No. Yes.
I just one doubt.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, like, can you please go back?
Yeah.
Zod versus Joy.
Joy.
So
Valibot, IOTS. So these are the near competitors of SOD.
Okay. These are all validations, right?
Yeah, as like SOD, the validation libraries.
Okay. Just one to know. Thank you.
So as like I can say the competitors of SOD. Okay. So as normally how we use import is as like how we import other libraries. So I'm just importing import set from SOD. Here I'm just specifying first name set dot string. Like normally in TypeScript we used to specify type, or like for example constant first name colon string, right? Or else we can able to define an object using a type or interface, right? So here how we are defining an object is first name equals set dot string of. Likewise string we have number, boolean, array methods, objects as well. First it a simple one I'm checking. So the methods available is like I want to check whether it holds a string value or not. So I'm using a method called parse. So I'm passing one string value, so it returns an output. If I'm trying to parse a number, for the first time I already defined this as string, but for the string I'm trying to pass an number value, it throws an error. So it throws an error basically. Okay, so there are two methods. One is parse, another one is save parse. Okay, so when it throws the error, what will happen? It will break the execution. So when it breaks the execution, like normally what we'll do, like when we expect some runtime error, what normally we do is try catch we used to do, right? But here it throws the error. The save parse is nothing but internally it has that try catch block. It will not break. Okay, instead of rewriting explicit try catch block, the save parse will internally will have the try catch block. So I hope you understand the difference between parse and save parse, right? Good. Okay, I'll show you a quick demo. is my simple server file which I'm running on the local port. Just an Express API. So just to demonstrate the runtime error, right? Okay. So here I just, so as I said, sort can be used on client side, sort can be used on the server side as well. So here I am using it in my Express.js import set from sort, and I can define the structure like create user schema set.object. So here I'm just specifying the parameters like name, age, email, and here also like normally what we do, for example, email, we just specify it as string, right? But I want to check whether it is in the email type as well. So even I can able to check whether it is a valid email. Normally in HTML we used to have whether it is a valid email, the minimum character, maximum characters, right? So all these validations we can able to make use of sort library. Okay. So how I am going to use this, like assume that, so this API I am trying to use, and it is going to provide a wrong response. So what I mean by wrong response is, so here I have defined age. Okay, here I am just providing a wrong data type. Okay, but whereas here I am just providing a correct data type. Okay, here I have not defined, like generally when an API is hit, this is how the response has been provided. So we anticipate this age is a number, and we will be doing that number calculation in our UI. But we will run into a runtime error, right? So if it is a good data, I can say this. This is all like valid data, but we cannot always expect a good data, right? Because we don't know, like, so it may be an external application, you don't have the control over it. So it is always good to validate on the client side as well. So in the client side, what I'm doing is, so here in this case, without using sort, so obviously when I check user.email.length, so I don't have email in this response, so obviously it is going to get failed, and it is going to throw the error, right? So now with sort runtime, what I'm going to do is, here I'm just going to define in schema sort.object. So I'm just specifying what object structure should be, and then whenever I'm getting the response from API, what I'm doing is I'm just parsing through this schema. So I'm just validating that whatever the response I got it from API, whether it passed this schema. If it passed this schema, this result.success will be true. So it will be providing result.success as true or false. If it is validates, it is going to return it as true, and then I'm going to do the data logic. Okay. If it is fails, obviously we can throw into the catch block, but it doesn't going to break because here I'm checking the condition since I used safe pass. Okay. So I hope you understand like how to use the sort in the minimal level, right? So there are other examples, but understand like what is sort, what is the purpose of sort. Okay. As I said, like we can able to make use of API validations as well. So I can able to define a structure in the API. So I am trying to, so far like we validated in the client side, right? So while I'm, because API is not the data which is current, it is going to get the data from the user input. For example, assume that you have a form, so user is submitting the data. There I need to validate. So before saving anything as same whatever, I want to validate and save. If it is valid, I want to save, else I want to throw the error. So we can make use of the same sort schema in the API as well. And also we can make use it in the form validations as well. So it provides built-in form validations method, as I said, like so, and we can able to make use of the JavaScript methods like two uppercase, two lowercase. We can able to trim it. We can able to convert to other data types as well. So we can able to check the type of everything. So and more importantly, so AI validations as well. The same logic applicable to whatever the response we are getting from an AI. For example, if you are going to prompt anything and you are going to make an API request to OpenAI API. So we are not sure what is the response OpenAI is providing. So I want to validate that response as well, right? So again, we can make use of sort to validate the response. So as I said, sort can be used on the client side, sort can be used on the API, sort can be used on the response to validate the AI service as well. So as I said, user schema dot parse. So if it is valid, it is going to success. If it is not true, it is going to throw the error. We need to handle it through the catch block. Whereas the save parse is nothing but it is going to handle the try catch block internally. It is going to return success true. If it is true, it's going to return the actual error, actual data. If it is false, it is going to provide the sort error. So instead of static error, it will provide you a detailed error description, like what is the error, what type of error it is. So we need to, even we can able to do it in JavaScript, but we need to identify what type of error and we need to provide that error respective to that error. But sort does that internally. As I said, the library take care of that utility function. So as I said, so save parse, if it is true, it is going to success. Here first itself I am checking. So if it is not, it is going to throw the error. If it is true, it is going to print your actual result. And then as I said, this infer is an object. So this is a schema which I have specified, right? Set.object, number, string, ID, name, age, email. So infer is one of the method. So when I said this validate user, right, by default, I can make use of this as the TypeScript object as well. So if we print this validator user, it is nothing but a TypeScript type object which you are defining. So I'm just converting the sort schema to an TypeScript. Internally it is going to be no need to, because normally when you do TypeScript, right, so when you are defining an object at the top in the interface, it will have the same structure. So for example, if you have 10 object, we will be writing the 10 interface in the same structure, just specifying the type. But when you are using the schema, we no need to deduplicate that. Okay, we can avoid that duplication. So and we can have nested object. So this is one object inside an object we can have another object, and we can have an array. So there is no complexity in nesting object or nested structure. We can have the deep structure instead of a flat structure as well. So and also we have the chain rules. For example, I can say check the email should be string and it should be email. It should pass this email. It should be a valid email, and also it should end with. So I can able to validate this. Not only validate, I can thoroughly check the rules and instructions also. Only if this type ends with this one, I want to accept or else. So that means the predefined type checking. So for example, in TypeScript, we can check only number, whether it is a number or not. So but I want to check whether a number is greater than 18 or not, greater than or negative number or positive number. So we can able to specify a customized type checking through this chaining methods. Okay. So as I said, it provides full stack validation, it provides validation on the server, it provides validation on the client. And I just give you an high level overview about TRPC. Okay, now what we are doing, so we are writing the schema in client side, right? And we are writing the schema in server side. So if I am the same person writing, it's fine. Even though if I am the same person, it is not mandated that whatever the schema written in client has to be same in the server, because to change the structure of the API, I may change the schema in the server side as well. So it will not be always aligned. That is one case. Another case is like, for example, due to network latency, you may not got that correct response, right? So there is a chance of mismatch between the client schema and the server schema. Okay, so if you're updating, again you need to update in both the places, right? Tomorrow I want to change the structure, I need to change the structure in client side as well as I need to change the structure in server side. But this TRPC provides a mechanism. We can have single source of truth. Okay, so if my data changes in the server, obviously my client also should support that. Okay, so what I do is, even if while typing, it can able to infer and check whether that variable is available or not. Only if it is available, it will allow, else it will throw that compile time error itself. So that is the advantage of this TRPC, nothing but TypeScript remote procedure call. So it's a framework that allows you to build end-to-end type safety without the need for code generation using the plain TypeScript function. What problem it solves is the traditional REST or graph requires you to manually define types on the client and server, leading to duplicated code. The TRP solution is act as a single source of truth. I'll just show you this. So this is the TRPC implemented on the server side. This is the TRPC implemented on the client side. So if you see here I just importing it TRPC, and I'm just defining the structure. And if you see here, the specified method is like, here I'm expecting this to be greeting and whatever value I am passing. So here also, here I'm trying to print this value, and for this result object dot greeting. So here I have this greeting object, so it accepting that structure. So I'll just play this video quickly. So here, if I remove this greeting on the server side, in the client side I could able to see the error, setting that greet object is not available on the server. So if I change the name, I'm creating one more object. Here I'm trying to say it is by default it is providing that suggestion, saying that by understanding that there is one new variable available in the server side. So here I'm trying to access greeting, but here it is just a goodbye. So here itself it could able to identify that it is not matching with your server schema. So obviously it has the connection between the client schema and the server schema. This is the main advantage of this TRPC. Okay. So another also, like, anyone heard about like ORPC, OpenAI Remote Procedure Protocol? If you have your time, get a chance, just go through it. It also tries to solve a similar kind of problem. So as I said, inside the TRPC, I can make use of the SARS validation as well. It's not only a generic type checking. Inside the TRPC, I can able to combine SAR, again, which makes the schema validation much safer and stricter. Yeah, that's all about my talk. So if you want to connect, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you guys. Thanks for being a lovely audience. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the TypeCoder organizers. And special thanks to Shanti as well. Thank you very much. Any questions before I end? So I will be available over here. If you guys have any question, like you want to connect, we can connect. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Rajesh. That was very informative session. I hope you all learned something today, isn't it? So yeah, learning will always be a continuous process in technology. All right. So you guys need a break, or let's continue with the next session? Short break? Yeah, I understand. Saturday evening. Okay, let's take a break. So it's 3:20. We can have a break until 50? Half an hour. Okay, half an hour break. We have a refreshment. Yeah, 3:45. We have a refreshment there in the pantry. Please help yourself. And restroom is at the left corner. Please use yourself. Thank you. Take a break, guys. Stretch a bit.
In the glow of the screens where the numbers align, a world of code, a digital shrine. Typed lines hum like a song in the air. Infinite logic everywhere. Type
Hello. Guys, a small announcement. You know that you'll get certifications at end of this session. So only those who have registered through Luma will get the certifications, and those who have registered at the spot, please do reach out to me to enroll your name and email. And also, the name which you have used to register the Luma will be the name will be generated in your certificate. So if you want in any specific pattern, or if any name, I could see 2 or 3 entries with the different spelling in the name and the email ID. So if any discrepancies, or if you need to change anything, please do reach out to me in the registration desk in another 10 minutes, so that we need to feed those lists in our code. Any changes, please do reach out to me in the registration desk. Any spot registrations too, if you want your certifications, please enroll your name and email to me. Thank you. Also, we'll gather back to our place in another 10 minutes. Post that, we'll have a small icebreaker session and resume our second speaker session. I'll repeat, please do gather back to your places in another 10 minutes. We'll have a small icebreaker session to resume our second tech session. Thank you.
Hello everyone. We also have photo booth outside. Please make use. Hello. Guys, we have only 5 minutes left. Please assemble for the icebreakers. Hello. May I request everyone to please assemble here? Will be as. Am I audible? Okay, may I request everyone to please get back to the seats? We'll be starting our next short ice-breaking session.
Can I take this as a final acknowledgement for your name and email ID for certification process? Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, we are going to start our next icebreaker session. So, there'll be a QR code. So, you'll have to scan that QR code, and whoever answers first and correct, they'll be getting some small goodies like gifts. And icebreaker session will be taken by our Partha Saradi. He's a QA engineer. He has around 6+ years of experience. He's one of the critical resource of Talentship. He's a good singer also. He's a good singer also. If you want him to, you can ask him to sing a song also. Sing it.
தங்களால் என்ன முடியுமோ பண்ணிட்டீங்க. ஓகே, ஹோப் த டீஸ் அண்ட் காஃபீஸ் ஆர் டூயிங் கிரேட். ஐ திங்க் ஸோ. கொஞ்சம் எல்லாரும் ஃப்ரெஷ்ஷாக இருக்கீங்க. ஓகே, ஸ்கேன் பண்ணியாச்சா? மறுபடியும் டீ காஃபிலாம் குடிச்சிட்டு யூ வில் பி லைக் a bit tired. ஸோ கொஞ்சம் மோட்டிவேட்டடாக இருக்கிறதுக்கு we'll have some games, a quiz. So this is like not choosing the correct answer, you have to type it, okay? So make sure you typo is correct, you give a proper space. All right? Cool. Is everyone ready? Yes and no's? Yes? Okay. Did everyone scan the QR? Yes is from this side and yes? Cool. Fine. We'll start. Okay, we are going to start. So we have with 22 entries. We want to start the game. So you have to identify the puzzle. Who watch Vijay TV? நிறைய பேர் இருக்கீங்க. அதில் ஒரு கேம் இருக்குன்னு தெரியுமா? டென்ட் கொட்டா. You have to type it on your system.
Guys, don't reveal the answers. Just type it. Only then you'll get your prizes.
See, you can see who has given the first answer. It will be on the first. So make sure you're typing faster. Then we're going for the next one. Next one, John. Okay. So the first is RK. Who is RK? Okay, fine. இந்த காமெடி எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிஞ்சிருந்தா இந்த ஆன்சர் கண்டிப்பாக தெரியும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Don't reveal the answers, please. Let others to think what it is. Next, be ready for the next one.
RK is in the top. Who's RK? KK? Okay, Kaduvel. Let's see who and
இது ஈஸி. ஸோ இது கண்டிப்பாக எல்லாருமே பண்ணணும். செங்கல், மணி, we are seeing the third, who is the first on top. So the leaderboard. Kadirvel still remains the top. இப்போ மாறுதா? Okay, still he is on the top. Nice. I think this is a bit tricky. பாருங்க, I think the second word and third word everyone will know. First one. எல்லாரும் யோசிக்கிறத பார்த்தா ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்க மாதிரி இருக்கு இல்லையே? Satya Pramod, now he's on top. Come on guys, Kadirvel, Satya Pramod, RK. This is a good one. Someone has said it. Who is good at Insta? No answers please. Satya Pramod, great.
Satya Pramod and KK is also back.
இது ரொம்ப ஈஸி எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு. இது ரிமூவ் பண்ணியிருக்கணும், பட் சரி ஒரு ஈஸி ஆன்சர் வைப்போம். ஜான் உங்கள் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுக்கு ஆன்சர் எதுவும் சொல்லலை ஜான்? Let's see who is on the top now. Still Satya Pramod and KK are just competing each other. இது கொஞ்சம் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்காக இருக்கும், பட் ஈஸி ஒன், வெரி ஈஸி. என்னன்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சிங்களாருன்னா அதை? எஸ், நிறைய எஸ். ஓகே, பாருங்கள், சத்ய பிரமோதும் கேகே தான் மேலே இருக்காங்க. டக்குன்னு ஃபாஸ்ட், அவங்க 2 பேரும் தான் ரொம்ப ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக இருக்காங்க போலயே. என்ன ஃபோன் யூஸ் பண்ணுறீங்க கைஸ்? ஸோ இது வந்து கொஞ்சம் காம்ப்ளிகேட்டடாக தான் இருக்கும். இதிலேருந்து ஒரு 5 questions a bit complicated பட் ஈஸி. கொஞ்சம் யோசிச்சிங்கன்னா ஈஸியாக இருக்கும். KK has taken the first position for now. இது ஈஸி தான். நிறைய பேர் ஆன்சர்ஸை சொல்லிகிட்டே போடுறாங்களா, பக்கத்தில் இருக்கவங்களுக்கு ஈஸியாக இருக்குது. ஜான் ஒன்று பார்த்தீங்களா, பேர் பார்த்தீங்களா? பிளாப்லான்லாம் ஒருத்தர் வச்சுருக்காரு. ஹூ இஸ் தட் பிளாப்லா? நைஸ். சத்ய பிரமோத் என்ன ஆச்சு? பரத்குமார் மேலே வந்துட்டார் பாருங்க.
Four more questions to go.
4 questions. So who is first gets on the top. இது கொஞ்சம் ட்ரிக்கியாக இருக்கும். I'll give a clue. It is an arithmetic operation. ஃபைன் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா?
ஆக்சுவலி கைஸ், இதுக்கு வந்து இட்ஸ் a சீசன். ட்ரை லைக் திங்க் இட்ஸ் a சீசன். ஒரு சீசன் இது.
See, only 2 correct answers. But still KK remains on top. This is very easy. But ஆனால் இதுக்கான ஸ்பெல்லிங் தான் bit tricky.
Last 2 questions.
Okay, இதுக்கு தான் 2 points. அது ஈஸி இல்லை. Did everyone try this? Try பண்ணீங்களா?
Actually, I know the answer, but I don't like the answer.
எல்லாருமே வந்து கண்டிப்பாக ஒரு ஆன்சர் கெஸ் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க. அதுதானோ ஆன்சர். ஆனால் அதுக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்கிறத தான் சேர்த்து பண்ணணும். Only 2 of them. Okay, this question has a bonus point. So people who are quick and fast with correct answers gets on top. Maybe it's like KK, Satya, Pramod, Bharat. இவங்க பேர் தான் மேலே இருக்கனால I keep remembering them. Sorry for others. So that's the end of the slide, and we are coming to know the position. Okay. Selva Prasad.
Top 5.
Third,
Naveen,
Selva Prasad.
Kadirvel, Selva Prasad, Satya Pramod. Who is on the top? KK.
KK. Give a round of applause to KK. Who is KK? Our CTO. Really surprising. I was just wondering who is KK. But yeah, again, just give one good applause for all the 3. And thanks for your participation.
May I know who is blah blah? Okay. 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 Now we'll go over the prizes. We are choosing top 5. 5th place goes to Naveen R. I request our speaker, Mr. Rajesh, to come forward and give away the gift. Okay. 4th place, Kadirvel. I request our speaker, Jagdish, to come forward and give away this gift. Third place, Selva Prasad. I request our speaker, internal speaker, Nandini. Okay. Second place, Satya Pramod. I request Manigandan to come forward and give away the gift. Okay, first prize goes to Mr. KK. I request Safrio to come forward. Okay, thank you. Congratulations to all the winners and appreciation to all the participants. I hope the session was interesting, fun. You guys enjoyed? Yeah, thank you. And then let's proceed with our next session. We have our second speaker, Mrs. Nandini Ravikumar, our very own internal speaker. She is with Talentship for the past 8 months. She has around 8+ years of experience in the front end. She's a model. She asked me not to say this, but she's a model emerging influencer, Instagram influencer. You can follow her. You can connect with her after the session, maybe during networking time. So yeah, I'll hand it over to her.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Right? Hello? Hi. Right. So, good evening, everyone. I know it's a Saturday evening. Everyone wants to hang out with their friends or binge Netflix or even take a good afternoon sleep, which I personally love. But you and I are here to learn something new, and I thank everyone for making that choice. Right? Before getting into the session, I just want to let's do a quick warm-up, okay? How many working professionals do we have here? Raise of hands, please. Yeah, quite a few. Others are still interns or students, right? Okay. How many of you using AI for your development workflow? Yeah, I can see few hands. Other guys, I think, are you guys still using Stack Overflow? No, right? You still using? That is also AI Assistant tab, right? Yeah, it has. In Stack Overflow, there is a tab called AI Assistant. Even in your Google search engines, you get AI overview for your queries, right? So I think everyone is into AI-related world right now, right? So here comes the spicy question. How many of you think that AI is going to replace us? No one? It will reduce, right? Okay. Other of us don't think, right? So I think then this session won't be needed. We can all go home and I can take my afternoon nap, right? No, you guys have to sit through it. Okay. Okay. So here's what I think, right? I think AI is going to replace us. Yes, I do. I really do. But not everyone, as Prasad said. It's going to be like, it's going to replace the one who doesn't know how to use it effectively, right? So after all, we are the one who created artificial intelligence, right? It's not magic, it's a tool, and a tool needs instructions to work with. That's what we are going to see today. And I'm Nandini Ravikumar, Senior Front-End Engineer here at Talentship, and my topic for today is going to be teaching AI to type script like a pro, right? So why this topic even matters? Why do we have to teach AI something, right? It's already knows everything, right? If we ask some questions, gonna give us the answer. We don't have to teach it. But let's see, in the development workflow, there are something that needs to be taught to AI also. Let's see the points one by one. AI writes code, but often incorrect one, right? You ask for something and it will give you a different thing. Do you know why? Any guesses? Yeah, correct. Who said that? Yeah, prompting, right? Prompting is more important while working with AI. It's like an intern. If you give the correct prompt, it will give you the proper solutions, right? And if you see, types are the first places AI usually messes up, right? Anyone had any experience with this TypeScript with AI? Anyone had any? Yeah. Do we have mic?
Correct me if I'm wrong. My question is like when we are typing something wrongly, so the existing code or maybe the new code gives some messed up. That's what your question is?
I asked if you're working with AI, it will give the it will put anywhere, right? Whoever had that.
Yeah, let me tell you my experience actually. The thing is like it's existingly code we have, so we are trying to fix some bugs. So that time what happens, we are giving some random prompts, but what it is does, it's randomly adds some extra codes, which
Yeah.
means like that may have some good code also, but it is adding some junks also.
Yeah.
So finally we get the output as we have a large set of codes.
Yeah,
So
right.
that again, what we need to do is we have to again do the cleanup works. So
Yeah.
it's a redundant.
Yeah,
Maybe this
right.
is the first point I come to this mess up.
Yeah, actually, it's a very good point. Yeah, AI does that, right? Usually, because it doesn't know your context, right? If it's know your context, it will give you properly, and that's what we are going to see how we can make that. So also the other point, developers end up debugging AI more. As you all know, before AI, we will be developing it for like a feature for like 3 weeks, and if any bugs comes, we will be debugging it for like 1 or 2 days only. But after AI, we are developing it like in 2 days itself, a feature gets completed. But if you get any bugs, it will take 3 to 4 days to debug it, right? Everyone has experienced it, I guess, right? So why? Because of bad prompts. If your prompts were bad and it's a bad code, and the time gets wasted for more of a debugging, right? So with right instructions, AI is going to be powerful, 10x powerful, giving you the proper solution. I want to give you a simple analogy here. Let's say you and your friends are in a restaurant and you ask something with apple, and the restaurants give you one apple juice, right? What you actually had in mind was an apple pie, two quantity, because you are with a friend, right? Now you call up the restaurant again and you ask for like I want two apple pies, one without cinnamon, and because your friend is allergic to it or something, and instead of white sugar you ask for a brown sugar, and this time you get exactly what you want. Do you know why? Your instructions were clear this time, right? If your instructions were vague, right, AI will confidently give you the wrong thing. I like to re-quote it again. It will confidently give you the wrong answer. But if your instructions were clear, you will get a better output, right? So we know our problem here, right? We need to teach AI to do how to get our context, to know about their context, right? So before going into the solution, I want you guys to know the difference between the prompt and the context engineering, right? Prompt engineering is nothing that what you ask for, it will give you the answer. It doesn't know anything about your past or the context, anything, right? It will give you the answer. You can work with like a role-based or you mentioned a few short examples, like that is the prompt engineering. Whereas in context, the AI has your code base, everything related to it, right? Your history or everything it will have. So it will help the AI to write better, right? So also, let's say for example, if you go and ChatGPT and type, I have hair fall, I have stomach ache, and I'm losing weight and all, and it will tell that I might have cancer, right? Because it doesn't have the context of it. I think you guys have done that. I can see a few smiling faces are there, right? Don't do it. Consult a doctor, okay? Right? So whereas if you go for a doctor, he will ask you to take tests, and that doctor has your context of you, right, of your medical experience. So that is the difference between prompt and context engineering, right? So we are going to see a demo of three things. Like I'm going to do my demo in Cursor, so we can do this solution with Claude or Copilot, everything, but my demo is going to be fully on Cursor. I have a few things related to Claude and Copilot in the end also. Just a heads up on Cursor, right? So I want to show a demo. See, I'm in ChatGPT and I'm asking ChatGPT to create a login functionality for me, okay? I'm just the prompt is create a login function in TypeScript. That's it. I have given anything. Just create me a login functionality. And you can see it gives me one interface with username and password. And it has a stored credentials. It it's already there, right? So let's see, it has also add an explanation. Can you add this in your code and create a peer for this? No, right? It is fully vague. You can see the prompt is just a login functionality in TypeScript. What is the outcomes are here? Extremely basic code, hard-coded credentials, right? No real world logic, right? Nothing. So what I'm going to do, I'm using my cursor. Okay, this is an empty project. I've just created a TypedCoders folder, and I'm going to give the same prompt here. Okay, just watch it, what it will do. I'll just run it first, 2x, 5x. Yeah. So it is creating me a auth.ts file, and also if you see, I didn't mention anything. It's creating me an example.ts file, a package JSON and readme file, everything related to the project. What a project will contain, it will creating it. If you see my prompt, I didn't give anything at all, just the context of a browser. I'm using a cursor with Sonnet 4.5 agent, right? So it created me everything. Now, can we rise a peer for this? No, right? Because it doesn't contain anything related to our project. It doesn't have anything, right? It still won't work, right? Your PR gets rejected, maybe you got terminated as well, right? Okay, now for a solution. So just an overview. It read my workspace context and created my project files, but still no alignment with your architectural rules, right? It doesn't know that context of it still, right? And the consistency, no anything, no API layer separation. But it detected my project styles, everything, right? So let's add rules in cursor. Okay, so rules are nothing but a project level system instructions to your agent. So how you want your project codes needs to be created by the agent. We are going to give instruction to your agent. Okay, how it's going to work like that. So we can add rules. There are 4 types of rules in cursor. You can add a project rules, which only going to be used in a particular project, and you can add your user rules that is going to be all over your IDE, right? And you have team rules, that is for enterprise plan. You can work, if you are working as a team, you can buy it and use it. Agents.md is nothing but it's same like a project rules. It will be working as your okay, right? So let's see how we can add rules to our cursor and how it's going to create a big impact on our code, right? Just so it's a demo 3. Okay, I'm in the same folder. I haven't did any changes. So I'm going to add my cursor rules here. So I'm going into settings and going to cursor settings, and I'm adding my rules and comments and adding my project rules, right? I'm creating it as a core standards.md file. Okay, so in the core standards, what I'm going to add is I'm going to add some of the TypeScript rules that we have seen, like creating any, even we can add any rules. So right, before that, in code standards you can see there is a 4 options, right? So it will going to work like it will going to be useful for everyone who are using cursor and its rules. Like it has 4 points. I'll explain it later, but before that, I am pasting my rules into this core standards.mdc file. If you can see, I'm adding like a all new code must be written in TypeScript, right? And I have clearly mentioned I don't want anywhere in my file. I mentioned that please use unknown or better types interfaces for it. And I've also mentioned my utils and live files should be separated. In the previous demo that we seen, it only created auth.ts file, right? It doesn't separated any files. The API service files are in the same file. The interfaces are in the same file. The utility function, everything is in the auth.tss file, right? Now in the rules, I have mentioned clearly that I want it to be all separated. As per your project architecture, you can write your rules, okay? So I've also added to write a unit test cases. I also added to add a JS doc comments here, right? So I have added it, I have saved it, right? I've did anything, that's it. My rules are added. Now, so we have seen 4 options, right? How the rules are going to work, right? So let me get to one by one. So there is an option called always apply. So if you select always apply, this rule will be attached to every chat of your agent. Like it will, whenever if the agent is making like a simple change, like if it's adding a console.log means also, it will read your rules file if this rules is selected as always apply, right? And apply intelligently means you can describe the rules, like you can describe the task for this rules, like this rule needs to be applied for a particular folder, or only for the TS files, or only for my folders inside the utils. So the agent decides if it's relevant to use the rules or not, right? And the next one is apply to specific files. As I already mentioned, it will also specify the specific patterns. Like here in the description, you can see the .tsx file or specific folders, or only the unit files, everything, right? This rules. So the next one is apply manually. So you will create a rule, and it won't be applied anywhere until you do, right? You can mention the agent while giving your prompt, just mention at, and you can see your files, and you can mention the front-end rules or back-end rules.mdc file, apply these rules and give me the results, right? This will, this time the agent will takes the file and do the reviews and all, right? So we have seen the 4 options. So in my demo, I have created always apply, right? So in the demo, you can see, so I'm going to type that nothing, just can you redo this file again. You can see I'm typing below that can you redo it again. I didn't given anything. My rules file is there. I didn't mention that follow the rules, anything, because it's set to always apply, and it's thinking, and it will be deleting my files, and it will create, it will read the rules, and it will do the work, do the magic, right? I'll play it faster, little bit faster, right? It is creating me a utils file. It is creating, see, it is created a src folder. Before that, that was not there. It is creating me examples. It's creating a jest. It's also writing my unit test cases. See, it's done and dusted, right? It is done, and it is also giving me that how to use it. Is it done? Just a minute. Yeah, everything has been added, including the validations, everything, right? The rules. So only in 4 steps, I have created a full folder structures. Do you really think AI won't be replace us? Right? See, it's everything has been created, right? But still, I hope that you guys are not creating a PR with this, right? So you have to review it on your own. There are a lot of interns and who are starting their career. I chose not to use this fully, right? Don't use it. But before get into your architecture level, the basics should be known, and then you have to use it, right? So there is an for example, let's say if you are going to create a feature, right? Instead of like giving a prompt like can you create a login functionality, you have to mention it properly. The feature should be defined well, okay? Before the AI should be processing it, you ask for a plan. You can ask the AI to plan. It will give you an MD file. You can review the plan. If you need any changes related to that, you can ask again to replan it, And once you reviewed the files and you ask the AI to proceed it, this time you won't be have to redo it again and again, okay? Because you know the plan, you are the one who created it, and it's made your plan and your feature there, right? So I have only created a core standards.mdc file there. But to add rules, you can create a multiple level of rules, right? For a best practices, keep your rules under 500 lines, okay? You shouldn't be like 2,000 lines. Single rules cannot contain a 2,000 lines of code, right? So if you see here, my project's root folder contains a core standards.mdc and a review.mdc file. I'll come to that review later. And there is an, let's say it's a monorepo, right? I have a backend, I have a front end. For both, I have created a separate files like api.arc for your API architectural level rules and API module and error handling. A separate front-end folder contains a separate rules. So inside a separate folder which contains .cursor/rules will be only applied to that folder. Like if you're asking to build a feature, it is making a backend and front end both changes means only the backend rules will apply to the backend code that it is going to edit, and only the front end level codes that will apply to the codes that inside that your front end folders, okay? So in this way you can write all your codes. Even in the first session, Rajesh mentioned to write a Zod, right? So in Zod, for you can also mention that in your rules file that you want, if you are building a feature, I want this to be connected to a Zod. And here is the example, like let's just say I want a safe pass here, do it and test it. You can write all your codes here. And we have a review.mdc files, right? So what that can be do? We all know how our managers review our code, right? They will containing one set of architecture, one set of rules, right? You can put it all your rules there. Before giving out to your manager, before giving out to your review, you can review your own code, right? This is how the no any's. I want to follow dry case, Yagni principles. I want to follow my own error handling structures, everything. And you can review and you ask AI to give your overall review for 10. And if it will give again, right? It will give a 6 or 7 or 8. You can redo it again and again and fix the performance issue also, right? So yeah, I would suggest you do that before giving out a PR if you're using an AI, right? It will be good, right? So we see this. I did it in Cursor, and we have Claude and Copilot also, right? For Claude, you can add instructions for projects instructions, and you can create a MDC file and pin it. Claude will take it as Claude will take the pinned files as the most important context. And we have Copilot. Copilot is not supporting a single file like a folder-wise instructions, but it has the Copilot.json file. Please go check it out. And we have another thing that is even with a simple context, right? With a simple context, we have created a folder structures, everything. But if you want to do more powerful, right, you can connect your MCP servers with your IDEs. Like, for example, your Figma, or if your organization allowed, you can connect it. Or for your own projects, you can do that and try it out. You can connect MCP like Figma or your own Jira file. Like in Jira file, it will have story points. And for your Figma, it will have every your design files, right? It will know more context of it. It will create a proper UI also with your own code structures, right? So please do try it out the MCP servers, right? So I would like to end my talk with this note that AI won't replace us, right? But the developers who uses AI will replace you, okay? So make use of it, guys. And I thank everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sitting through the session, and I thank, please, Monica. Wait, Pananga, Monica. I like to thank Talentship for giving me the opportunity. I would like to thank Shanti and John and Mani for doing this session, conducting this session this time. So you can connect me on LinkedIn here and give us your reviews, and thank you. And I would like to say that this is my first session, first tech talk ever. I hope I given you some valuable content for today. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Nandini. It was very informative, and I hope you all enjoyed. We all learned something about prompt engineering. I hope, like she said, we're not going to ask Gemini or ChatGPT regarding our health issues. Please consult your doctor. All right. Okay, so one more announcement. We have a photo booth outside, so you can make use of it. You will get instant photograph. சும்மா போயிட்டு அந்த ஃபோட்டோகிராஃப் இமீடியட்டாக கொடுப்பாங்கல்ல, ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி இருக்குது. ஸோ ப்ளீஸ் மேக் யூஸ் ஆஃப் இட். All right, let's move on to our next session. You all ready, right? Ready for one more session? Yeah. So one more last and final session. So that will be taken by our speaker, Jagadish. So he has around 12 plus years of experience, and he's a founding engineer at Functionals AI, a Silicon Valley organization. And he's responsible for front-end and user experience. Yep. And then this month is very special for our speaker Jagdish because it's his birthday month. Last week of December he's celebrating his birthday. So let's all wish him a great year on his advance happy birthday, Jagdish. Okay, so I'll hand it over to him.
Hi everyone. I know this question was asked before, but is there anyone who doesn't understand Tamil here? Like, can I just speak in Tamil whenever I want? If you don't want me to do, just raise your hands. So, like, all of you can understand Tamil. Okay, that's really great. So, I'll start with Vanakkam, everyone. It's really glad to say the word Vanakkam. I've never done this in a talk before. ரொம்ப பெருமையா இருக்கு. So I'm more of a, like a தமிழே எனது மூச்சு, தமிழே எனது பேச்சு kind of guy. You see anything in my hand? No, because தமிழே எனது வாச்சு. So thanks for the great introduction. My name is Jagdish. I have 15 years of experience, and I'm currently working in Functionals AI, which is a startup, and I take care of the front end of the product, and I'm also responsible for the user experience in terms of product and website and like in general ideation process. So today I'm here we are going to talk about the keyword any, and the topic says from any to never. And yesterday I realized that the topic can be a little bit misleading because it says from any to never, right? But here any is keyword, never is not the keyword, because interestingly never is also a keyword. So we are not going to talk about any and all other operators and never. We are just going to talk about any and how we will never use it in the code base. So that's the agenda, that's the idea. This is what we are going to see. I'm not going to teach you how to use TypeScript or something. I'm very sure you all have your basics. This is more about the problems that you face any is very easy to use, but it can be also little nuanced and complicated. So it's all about how you can step up your game, right? So let's start. Okay, agenda for today is very simple. Oh yeah, I have this one thing to tell you. So when she was giving me, like we had a sidebar and she asked me if there is something interesting about me that I can say. I just realized something. Where is the camera? Okay, there, right? How do I mute this, switch this off? So yeah, just a funny story. Okay, today's agenda is going to be very simple. I'm not going to do a lot of overview about TypeScript operators because we had actually a very good introduction by other people. I had this as my I'm having this in my agenda because I thought I'm going to talk first, and I thought, okay, let's ease it in. So I'm really glad I don't have to do that, and we'll just discuss a little bit about what are the problems with any, and you know how we can systematically remove it. So it is going to be very simple. I would love to finish this, wrap this up, so we can have a discussion if you guys want. I'm not saying that I'm going to keep this session super interactive, but if you want anything, if you have any questions, you can just raise your hands and we can talk about it. I'm not also going to be like super enthusiastic, like how many of you use TypeScript today? I know none of you use TypeScript today because today is Saturday, but how many of you use TypeScript yesterday? Okay. So the thing is, the reason why I picked this topic is I think I probably wrote my first JavaScript code when it was 2000, I guess 2003 or 2002, even before that. I heard someone saying that they are in college, and probably you guys were not even born at that time. So I come from that era, but I don't have a computer science background. So JavaScript was actually the first proper scripting language I started, and it was very easy for me. Like I was not restricted. You know, people who come from a Java background, they love TypeScript because of the strongly typed language, but I actually don't. I think someone said that they're very passionate about TypeScript. That was you. Yeah, I remember. I'm really sorry. I'm not the person who is like super passionate about TypeScript. I mean, like, honestly speaking, 4 or 5 years back, I hated TypeScript because I was very comfortable with JavaScript, and you know, like, when I was asked to make strongly typed languages, it was really hard for me. And then, like, I caught up, or like more, like I was forced. So anytime I wanted to write any TypeScript code, any. Oh, now I see the problem. Any was my savior. But then I realized, you know, it's not the right way to do it. There are like a lot of right ways to do it. So what I'm going to discuss here is not exactly fact, but more of an opinion. So you may differ from it. You might have some more better ideas. But the overall I don't want to say vision. That's a huge word. But vision is to share my thought process when you are stepping up, how you can eliminate this problem and be comfortable with any. When you get comfortable with writing any code, you'll be comfortable with writing any code. Okay, that's a very bad joke. So for now, let's dive into this session, right? Okay, I am going to quickly just talk about this and skip. But hey, when we talk about TypeScript operators, there are a couple of operators. So there are general basic operators. So some like union, optional, good story about optional is available in your regular JavaScript. And then there is read only. I call read only as a very strict parent, because when you say const, you think that it is unchangeable, but you can actually change its child. But read only is like this strict parent who also force it on their child. And type alias is there, generics there, and then there come some of the advanced operators. So I have not mentioned everything, just a few of them. Now there are these special operators. They are a little bit tricky. The first one is any. Any is an escape hatch. Like when you want to write a TypeScript code but you want to get away with it, that's where any comes into picture. But there are also legit use cases. We will see that. And then we have unknown. Unknown is any, but you do a type check, a little bit of type check. So this may sound contradicting, but just want to gauge the room and see if I know I have given the answer here, but would love to hear from you. Can anyone just give a very simple explanation of unknown? Like, what do you think? Is there any answer that I can get? Can so I hear that people giving answer will get chocolate. Chocolate, yes. No, that's not exactly the answer. Close, but I still won't say correct answer. Yeah. Actually, that that is more of an any definition. Hey, wait, I have the answer here. So yeah. Close, but I just want to see if there is any other closer answer.
Same answer what he has told.
Okay.
I had that option on. No ideas.
No problem. I think we can give it to him. Silva, thank you. So unknown is any, but what we do in unknown is we check for the type. See, the beauty of any is you don't have to check for a type, but you have an idea like, okay, this could be of this type, this could be of this type, but this may not be of this type. So whenever you are like partially sure about it, you use unknown. But we don't generally use it in the code, because like you either know it or you don't know it. If you don't know it, you use any, and if you know it, you will use the actual type. So little known, but I think that's why it's called unknown. And never. So once again, I want to make this a quiz again. Never is a very interesting type. Have you guys used never? Can anyone say what never is? It is tricky. It is tricky to explain. It is tricky to understand. A lot of people think like, I don't even know why the hell never is there. But is there any answer here? Okay, no problem. I will explain never later. Oh no, I'm not going to explain never later, so I'll do it here. So never is, you know what types to use, but you are putting a guard so that in the future the type definition will not be changed. If it is changed, you will know there is a problem. So I have given an example here. So it says type is defined as either small or large, and inside you have an extra check. You are checking for the size. If the size is not matching one of your answers, your TypeScript will already give an error. But what if in the future someone else is coming and they are adding extra large? In this case, you have already defined it, and this part will just throw the the angry underline, and it will say that, hey, there's a problem because your code should not reach here, or your code should never reach here. Little bit nuanced, little bit tricky to understand, but or maybe I'm not explaining it correct. I don't know, but uh, these are some of the tricky operators that we have in TypeScript, and we are going to largely focus on any. So where is any used? JSON.parse is something that you can never predict what is going to happen, and that is a very legit use case. And then sometimes, like, you may have parameters where you don't know what the type is going to be, so we call it untyped function parameters we use there. And migrating JavaScript to TypeScript, this is something I don't think I should even have it here, because you all seem like a really young crowd, and I don't think you guys will work in legacy code bases, but there are a lot of time when you will migrate your code base and you will be converting your JavaScript into TypeScript, and you want to do it quickly, because your manager told so, and you will use any. And it is borderline. I won't say that it's a legit use case, but that's where we always use it, right? And then there are third-party libraries, like there are older libraries which may not have their type definition. So there, if you bring it inside your code base, you don't have any other choice. You have to use any. Yeah. And dynamic unframe APIs, that was covered by Rajesh. So glad he did that. But of course, you're not supposed to use it. But to begin with, a lot of times we use any in these places. And yeah, in legacy code base, it's if you migrate to JavaScript, there is going to be any. But these all sound like a legit use case, and these all are something that you, in your daily life, or occasionally use it, right? So what is the problem? Is what you are asking. This is basically the scene from what is this movie? Onion, where the question is like, Anju paisa tadna tappa. So no, using any is not a problem, but overusage will make any creep into your code base, and it's going to give you a lot of issues. So what happens? Like, yeah, there are legit use cases, but when you try to make any quick fixes, because I just want the code to run, or you just copy paste someone else's code, mostly nowadays from AI, or your manager is pressuring you, your boss is pressuring you, and you want to like ship it fast, so put any and send it out later. We can fix. That's what we think, but we will never do that. And yeah, not every file will have type definition, but you have to use it. Ideally, you will be creating types, but you will simply put any and just ship it out. And then there are a lot of complex types, because I don't understand how to use it. I know there is a type, but I don't know how to use it. Put that, and then like any is everywhere in your database. And you might think that still this doesn't sound like a huge issue. Like okay, I see you. You are explaining a good problem, but I still don't think it's a great issue, is what you are thinking. And I'm like, yeah, இது ப்ராப்ளம் தான், பட் டிக்டாக் கொடுக்குற அளவுக்கு இது பெரிய ப்ராப்ளம் கிடையாதுன்னு நீங்கள் நினைக்கிறது எனக்கு தெரியுது, பட் it can be a problem. I will try to explain it here. So the first thing, when you use any, there is no type checking. This is a very funny scenario, because you use TypeScript because you want type checking, and when you use any, you are like going against it. You are actually missing that power. Remember, in TypeScript, you find the error, you find the issues when you are typing the code. Is that why it's called TypeScript? I don't know. No, because it's strongly typed. I know that. And the second problem with using any is there is no autocomplete. So here is an example. Okay, it says name John, age is 30. This is not you, John. So it's some John. This is Duru Nachatram John. Okay. So user has name, email, and age, but if you declare that as any, your ID is not going to give any suggestions, because it could be anything, and you are like basically removing that power from your IDE, and you are prone to runtime errors. So this is why we actually got TypeScript. And when you use any, you are actually giving power to yourself to write bad code which will bomb in the production. Because when you write a code, you also write test case, but I know for a fact that you write test case only with the scenarios that you know will pass. But when it goes to production, everything will come up. And silent propagation is what I talked in the beginning. Like, you start with one any thinking like, hey, I'm just going to use it once. And the next day, you forget that you used it yesterday and you are going to use it today again. And third day, you are going to think, எவ்வளோ பண்ணியாச்சு இதை பண்ண மாட்டோமான்னு. And that's how it happens. And when you decide to make a revamp, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. And honestly speaking, I consider using any in your code base is fine, but you should always consider that as a tech debt. If you are not doing it, you're going to be in trouble, because you will have issues when you refactor your code. So is that good enough to like பயமுறுத்துறனா இல்ல சிரிப்பு தான் வருதா? Either is fine for me, but I would really love it if you guys don't take any for granted, because it could really kill your speed. And there is one more huge reason why we should be serious about it, because nowadays we don't write code at all, we just write prompts. And thanks to Nandini, people are going to write really better prompts, right? But AI is not 100% correct. I know that, because I'm not going to say why. It is very important that we understand the implication. When your AI is writing a code, it is not going to give you the correct types, because in example you will have your type on the same file, but in real time code bases, your type files are going to stay in a different folder. It could be coming from a library. Your AI may not know that, your cursor may not index that. Sometimes as a quick fix, I'm not saying I am doing it, but some people do that. They take the code, put it in ChatGPT and copy paste into their code base. So we may not know where the issue is, and if we want to write better types, there are other ways. Like, any is just a quick fix, but especially in this world of AI coding, it is very important that we know how to solve or how to systematically improve our code base. And that is actually what we are going to talk. So this is actually our talk. So like I told you guys before, this is my experience. This is not a fact, this is just an opinion, but this is a very good opinion. So first things first, you don't have to worry about this, because this is there in every default code base, but make sure that you have strict TypeScript settings enabled in your databases. It's going to be painful. I remember back in 2007-8, the first thing that I do is go and delete no strict from my JavaScript file. How many of you know no strict? Have you guys heard of no strict? You really? No? Not? I mean, like, I feel super old now, because it's so no strict. It basically something like a parent of TypeScript, where you make your JavaScript code more stricter, like it's a loosely typed language. So similarly, there are like strict TypeScript settings. So these three are very important. I will say enable strict mode, and then enable no implicit any. So no implicit any is where your code, you may not exactly or explicitly mention any in your type. If you don't, it will be taken as, let's say that I'm saying value equal to 10, then values type will be implicitly taken as number. But if you change or add a string into it, it will still work, and then the compiler will think, okay, this is implicit any. So that's how you avoid it for the first time. And then next, replace any with unknown. This is the best thing to ever happen for any. So I know we discussed this before, but I will give you a cleaner answer here. So where unknown is used is, you can declare something as any. At the same time, you also make a type check. If there is no type check, then it is going to throw an error. This is not a replacement for any, but it is slightly better, because you check for the type and you have declared it as any. So in a way, this may sound like that Varamutai could be there, but this is better than using any. And when you try to step up your code base, and if there are like multiple inis and you don't know what type, this is where you can start. You replace it with unknown, and then you think of what the possible types can be assigned to that variable, and you check for that. If they are not there, your code will not compile, which means you catch your bugs, but you are not implicitly, you are like in a way using any. And create type definition. So this is like an intermediary thing, but this is actually where you really start writing your types, or this is how you do a proper type scripting code, which is like you create the type that you are expecting. For example, if it is an API, you know, you can talk to your backend person, and you know what is coming into your client. So you know the response, so you know the responses structure, you define that as a code, and then you go forward, which is like this is TypeScript 101. And then there are really interesting utility types here. So I only have partial pick and vomit here. So you may have a larger type, and then you may want to use a little bit of that inside. For example, let's say there is a type called person, and then there are interface called person, and there are types in it like name, which is a string, age, which is a number, etc., etc. And then you want to pick something like a subset. That's where you will use partial. And then you want to restrict it. So that's where you use omit. For example, let's say person is an interface, and it has both professional and private properties, types. So you can pick some of them and create your own type. You can omit some of them and you can create your own type. So this is the most underlooked strategy, because every time when we want to write something, we just go ahead and create a new type. You don't have to do it all the time. You don't have to create multiple interfaces all the time. You can also define a huge one and then like take it out and separate it and put it here. And yes, gradual migration. You don't have to do it every time. Like you don't have to do it everything everywhere all at once. You are not Michelle Yeoh. So do it small, but make sure that you are starting with critical paths like authentication or talking to your server. And then you make small changes where you have defined your constants or you have utility files. So make it slow, make it steady, and you will be like out of the any safe black hole very soon. And then obviously there are type libraries. I have example from React and our DOM elements. If you are using Angular, my deepest condolences. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, the larger idea here is it is very easy and very tempting to quickly finish your code and put any or in today's world just give it to an AI and get it done. But when you try to refactor, when you try to scale up, you are always going to have a problem, and having a systematic approach will definitely help you, and that will totally it will make you stay out of trouble. So I only have 6 minutes, so I do have some practical examples. They are this is not live coding, so I just have good and bad, no ugly. But what I will do is I will share this code base with you, and you guys can just have a look and try to uncomment and see how your browser is your Prettier is scolding you or not. Sorry, not Prettier, Linter. I don't mind if my Prettier scolds me. So you can see that here it says it implicitly has an any type, right? So what happens is like this is how you will fix it. You create a proper types, and here there is no linting error. So I have some 5 examples. These are all just a basic examples of what we discussed before, but I'm just going to skip it. I think I gave too much of an introduction to myself. But yeah, this is a general idea. I'll share this with you. And I'm thinking, since you guys seemed really attentive, what do you guys think? Can we have a quiz? Yes? All right. Okay, let's have a quiz. Winners will get brownie points. Okay. Oh yeah, we have chocolates. We have chocolates. More chocolates. Kit Kat is there, but you guys are not getting Kit Kat because we already took a break. இதுக்கெல்லாம் சரிங்க. All right, you guys can scan this. I can actually show this in a bigger one. Is this working for anyone? You can simply scan this. Can I close the QR? Anyone wants to scan? Yeah, sure. Can I close? Anyone? All right. Okay, let's. Okay, this is going to be a very simple quiz. If you guys have listened to whatever I said, it should be easier to answer. 8 questions, and let me start. Which of the following is not a problem with using any not a problem? Nine seconds. Okay, the answer is better performance due to less type checking. Everything else is correct. This one is wrong. So it's possible you guys misread the question. So no need to be careful. Everything else is after this is like easy. What happens when you try to use an unknown value without type narrowing? We talked about this twice. So oh, I don't think I explicitly mentioned this, but 3 of you got it right. Congratulations. TypeScript allows the operation but wants you. I'm sorry. In this part, it actually doesn't warn you. It actually gives an error. In an exhaustive switch statement, what type should the default case variable be to catch missing cases? We talked about this. Oh, very fast. The answer is never. Actually, I should have mentioned this. Never is a great use case for switch case. Okay, next one. What is the main difference between any and unknown? Little bit of a repeating question, but there are so many unknown questions. Okay, great. I think everybody answered. We can move to the next one. What is the recommended replacement for any when you don't know the type? Oh, I shouldn't have had this question. I'm going to find the person who is answering it wrong. என்ன பண்ண முடியும் ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது. Thank you. At least no one gave null. But 4 பேர் object. Okay, Miss M is leading. Who was the next one? Okay. What does the never type represent? I wouldn't say tricky, but time up, yes, it should never occur. It should never occur, and it will never occur because your code is not going to compile. All right, Miss M and Selva Prasad. Okay, Hari can come to the second place. Who is KK, dude? Why is KK always at the top? Okay, what is the purpose of using utility like partial instead of any? Okay, let's see if you are answering this. I talked about this. The wordings are little bit confusing here, but yeah, good to see most of you got it right. Final one. Oh, the table has turned. Which TypeScript compiler option helps prevent any from being used implicitly? Yeah, I'm hoping everyone, please. But thank you so much. That's it. And the winner is Selva Prasad. Who is Selva Prasad? Hi. Yeah, please. I do have a proper brownies for you. But something is missing here. It is there in others because I forgot. So let's connect and I will get that to you later. And second place, Miss M. Should we allow this? Thank you so much. Thank you. And KK. Sir, not fair, but still, thank you so much. All right, this is great. I'm sorry, John. I think I took a little bit of minutes. I think maybe 5 or more. Wait, why is it still saying? I don't know. It shouldn't say 4. But yeah, here is my. It's a link tree. Just follow this, and you will find the link to this particular slide. You will find the GitHub repo of the examples. You can also connect with me in LinkedIn, and if you want to follow me in GitHub, it doesn't mean anything, but please do follow. Put some stars on my profile, whatever it is. And that's my website, and that's my email. I'm really glad to be here. The first thing is I want to say is like great job to the volunteering team. I have seen many meetups who cater to React and Angular, but I feel so happy and glad that there is one focused on TypeScript in Chennai. Chennai is where I spend more than half of my life, so like always grateful. And thank you so much for having me. Thank you, the entire volunteering team. I don't know what else to say. It's really good to see all the young, fresh, and some sleepy faces. But yeah, please stay in touch, and thank you so much, and have a nice year, 2026. 26, Anna? Yeah, 26, and may your code compiles all the time, and may your client's browser never crash.
மிக்க நன்றி ஜெகதீஷ் அவர்கள். தங்களுடைய உரையாடல் மிகவும் சுவாரஸ்யமாகவும் தெளிவாகவும் பயனுள்ளதாகவும் இருந்தது. Yeah, since he said he's into Tamil, like I'm also into Tamil. Like நானுமே ஆஃபீஸில் எல்லாரையும் பார்க்கும்போது ஃபஸ்ட்டு க்ரீட் பண்ணுறது வணக்கம் தான் எல்லார்கிட்டையும் சொல்லுவேன். ஸோ even I like that. Thank you. And yeah, I would like to thank all our 3 speakers for sharing their ideas, knowledge, and without your inputs, definitely this session wouldn't have been great. You really elevated the event, and yeah, I would like to take this moment to facilitate our speakers. Our first speaker, Mr. Rajesh, and second speaker, Mrs. Nandini, and Mr. Jagadish. And I would like to call Mr. Manikandan to come forward to present a small moment for our first speaker, Mr. Rajesh. I would like to call Mrs. Nandini Ravikumar and John Safrio to come forward and present the momentum. Okay. I would like to call Devi. Yep. Mr. Jagdish, please come forward. Thank you so much. And yeah, last but not the least, I would like to call our organizer, Mr. John Safrio, to come forward and give us a small note of thanks.
Thank you, Monica. Hi, everyone. This is John from Talentship. Actually, thank you for everyone being here at the Saturday evening. Why? Because yesterday we have Talavar birthday and we have his movie. You might got end up there, or you might got end up in your couch. Someone in the crowd have traveled more than 300 or 400 kilometers all the way from Coimbatore. I can see two of my friends here, and I know people who traveled here to attend TypeCoders. Thank you for you people for the first being here, and I also like to thank Talentship for making this happen, and also love to thank the speakers. Why? Because I never followed them much. I just asked them can you do this, and they said yes. So thank you for the lovely speakers, and thank you for the lovely audience. And I also need to thank the volunteers here. Why? Because the people we didn't track much. They did their job great, so that we can see the people's here, and this is happening. And also I also need your people's feedback, so that we might not do everything well. So somewhere we got misplaced, or you might feel this could be better, or this topic could be better, or you'll be, of course you will have feedbacks, right? So if you share the feedbacks, so it will be great for us, so that we can do better next time. And also a short note, we have the photo booth outside, so you people can just go there and take your pic and get your hard copies, so that you'll be have a memory here, what you took here. Also you can have it speakers, volunteers, whoever you want. Thank you everyone. Thank you, team.
Thank you, Safrio. And I would like to take this moment to thank the entire team, organizer team, John and Manikandan, and our HR team, Hari and Marshall, and technical support team, Sasi, Nathan, and the team, and the volunteers, and icebreaker team. Thank you, Partha, and the registration team, Devi and Partha. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. So your
I thought rather than filling the feedback form, it's better to give it live. So this is my second TypeCoder event. I came for the first event last time, and this is the second one. It's really good to see the community coming and doing something about it. Last time there was a good talk. I think it was from Naveen, if I'm not wrong. He did a similar concept on TRPC, and that's a learning that we took. I applied it in one of my projects, and it was really helpful. So I always say this to people. So these kinds of events do make an impact on your life. So being here is important. It's part and part of being a programmer. And I love the talk that we had from him. So thanks so much for that inspiring talk. It was really good to see. And thanks so much for Talentship for doing all this. And we would love to see more events. I think it was a big gap between the first event and this event. Coming up, is it? Yeah, it was. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else would like to speak? Feedback?
Okay. Again, I've been here a couple of times now, but second time for the TypeScript event. I hope everybody enjoyed, and even I have got a lot of insights on, especially Jagdish session on the never and the unknown. It was like watching Panchatantra movie. படத்தில் வர மாதிரி ஓகே அதுவா இதுவா முன்னாடி பின்னாடி கண்ணாடி என்ன இருந்தது. ஸோ இட் வாஸ் ஸோ ஃபன் அண்ட் தேங்க்ஸ் டு த என்டையர் டீம் ஆஃப் TypeCoders for organizing this, and even I learnt a lot of things from Nandini when it comes to the prompt engineering, and then our Rajesh bro as well. So it was a great event, very good environment. Thanks for doing this. Please go ahead and keep on doing more events in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Salva. So your feedback really matters to us. Only then we can improvise on our next upcoming events. Also regarding the hosting, if I should continue this or just stick with the debugging things. So it all depends upon the feedback you give. And I would like to call our HR for supporting, for managing and organizing this entire event, who's been the pillar of a backbone of our talentship team. So I'd like to call her and give few words from her.
Tamil, English, Tamil. Tanglish, okay. Hi, I'm Hari. So, out of thanks சொல்கிற அளவுக்கு I didn't prepare much, but still, thanks for making on your Saturday. It's a very complicated day. சொல்லுவோம் Friday dry ஆகிட்டு Saturday தான் we used to find ourselves to do something, but you made time and you came here and you invested your thoughts over here. I'm happy for that, and I really want to thank my team. I'm not a technical person. I'm a HR, so I don't know even a single thing about what was running behind the back. But my technical team, they did their best and they showed something that they learned, and you showed your interest to cope also. I was happy to see and observe that. So ஒரு சின்ன question session மாதிரி போயிடலாம். I hope Devi came and said me that you were inquiring about something regarding openings or related to that. So do you want to approach any question? You can have it now. Do you have any questions? பயப்பட வேண்டாம், எதுவும் மிரட்டல மாட்டோம்.
Any senior positions available, front-end development?
So we do have some positions going on, so you can just scan the QR code which is in the front, or you can just find it there also, this side, and in pantry also you will find, in registration also. You can just scan that. I have a dedicated TA team. They will reach out to you by Monday or Tuesday when they have a data in their hand. So probably after that we will be having 4 to 5 levels of interviews. So based on that, it will get. அப்படி ஷாக் ஆக வேண்டாம்ப்பா. It's a usual process.
No. Nowadays, like any companies, like they are doing 2 to 3, 4 rounds. So that's why.
This is a German-based company, so we have set of process that we have to have in place. Project centric interview nadakum, talentship centric interview nadakum. So we have to bridge both.
Okay. How about the freshers opening?
As of now, yes, we are not hiring any freshers, but we will consider them in future summers. That's all I can say now.
Okay. Thank you, Annie.
Yeah, but we are open for internship. If anybody wants to take an internship and wanted to grow their knowledge, yes, you can join us.
What was the procedure, ma'am?
Sorry?
What was the procedure?
What is the procedure for applying internship?
Yes, applying intern.
Sir, internship kaga?
Not for me. So.
Yeah, so you can just directly mail to me stating that what you are looking for, what field you are looking, either back end, front end. See, internship is not going to be first thing vanda odane we will not put you into one particular domain. We'll make you to put into several domains. Adala neenga edula vande establish agringlo and eduthala vande we'll try to nurture you. That's all we will do here.
Yeah,
in technical portfolio.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other question?
Okay, junior software engineer. So நான் வந்து நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் ஏதாவது ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா ஸோ அதுக்கு எந்த மாதிரி ப்ரொசீஜர் இல்லை அதுக்கு ஏதாவது நீங்கள் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பேஸ்டாக தான்.
So next time you want to become a speaker, reach out to Devi or John. To answer to this, we'll any event that we are going to conduct prior to that, like 2 to 3 weeks earlier, we'll post a call for speakers post. So through that you can mail that is attached to the post.
even now you can reach to the volunteers team and can give your name so that we can consider you as a priority. This is us. So this is for openings, and for speakers, of course you know John, and having this TypedCoders T-shirt, we are the volunteers. So for now, if you're interested for the upcoming events, of course we are having series of events planned for the next year. So you can give your names, and the topics, of course you can decide later and let us know, so that which topic that fits into our community. We have a AI community and TypeCoders as well. So whichever topic fits us, we'll contact you for sure. Of course, we are in need of speakers.
Any other question? Yeah, as Devi said, like next month we are planning to have a AI related event. If you are willing to participate, yes, most welcome. And if you have any topics also, you can just reach out to the technical team, so they will guide you on the next steps. Okay? Where யாராவது ஏதாவது question கேட்கணுமா? வேண்டாமா? Okay. Thank you so much for making your Saturday here. Hope you enjoyed, I believe. And thanks to எல்லாரும் எனர்ஜி இருந்தால் கை தட்டிடலாமா நம்ம வாலண்டியர்ஸ்க்கு? And there is a guy who is sitting behind the desktop, Mr. Nitin. எழுந்துங்க. உட்கார்ந்த இடத்துல இருந்தே கேமராவை கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ண வரைக்கும். So thank you so much guys, and cheers to your Saturday. Please enjoy yourself in the premises. வெளியே photo booth இருக்கு. If you want to take memories with you, you can just go there and take it. And we do have two things. ஒரு group photo எடுக்கணும். எல்லாரும் நல்லா மேக்கப் போட்டு வெளில வந்துருங்க. Second, there is a photo booth session also. You can just go and grab your photos. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Hari. So yeah, thanks everyone. Please assemble at the main reception lobby. We can take a group picture, and post picture. You guys can talk to the speakers, networking. So yeah. You will get your physical photograph in the photo booth. Please make use of it. Thank you, everyone.
Jagdish, we heard from John that we got some treats for the volunteers. So thank you so much, and a huge shout out to you. So please come often with the treats. Thank you.